What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Happy holidays to you and yours. Make sure you guys stay safe during this weird quarantine, holiday, vacation period. So make sure you guys stay safe. Most importantly, wear your mask, wash your hands, et cetera, et cetera. I hope you guys are doing that. But this is your man, Cam. I'm joined by my man, Young Sam. We make up Voice of the Fans. How you doing, Cleveland?
Doing fantastic, Cam. How about yourself?
I'm well, man. I'm well. How's the family doing? You guys safe up there?
Doing all right, doing the best we can to maintain under these strange circumstances and, just mandatory quarantining, but, doing the best we can, man.
Yeah, well, I ain't with the quarantine, man. I'm in chilly Las Vegas tonight, preparing for the Chargers taking on the Oakland Raiders tomorrow. The Las Vegas Raiders tomorrow.
Wow, yeah, come on now.
Stadium. So it's chilly here. It's 50 degrees outside before I came in. But nonetheless, we make up Voice of the Fans, Cleveland, and it is week 117 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. In this episode, we're going to recap week 14 in NFL. The Steelers take another L. The Colts rout the said Raiders. And then the Ravens outlast the Browns on Monday Night Football. We're going to talk about that game. Some people talking way too much about that game. It was a good game, but it wasn't the best game of the year. It wasn't the best.
Oh, it most certainly was the best game of the year and the most impactful on so many different levels. I mean, it's hard to say. Come on now, Cam.
Impact is different, but it wasn't the best football.
Impact on so many different levels, and the best game. Come on now. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait.
I mean, who's telling you this? ESPN telling you this? Bad Beaks, your boy Scotty telling you this? Come on, it ain't. We're gonna talk about that one. It ain't the best game of the year. I got some examples for you. We're going to talk about NBA preseason and the officiating so far in the preseason game, man. The officiating is a little different. Cleveland, have you noticed the officiating so far?
It's preseason, Cam, and we'll just have to, we're trying to get, ready for the season in a hurry, and we're just doing the best we can out here.
Okay. All right. So it's too soon to judge them. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, it's too soon. What's it, the second game? Third game? Come on now. No time to get in the rhythm.
You blow the damn whistle. That'll take a time. You've been trying to whistle all your life. It don't take you don't need rhythm to blow the whistle. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that, man. We got this day in history. We're gonna talk about the Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League. Cleveland. We haven't heard from Cleveland about 6 weeks yet, but nonetheless, we're gonna talk about that. So, fans, I want you guys to get comfortable. Make sure you turn your radio up, however you're listening to us, iHeartRadio, Tuned In, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, however you're listening to us. We appreciate you listening and checking in with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you can get when you subscribe, you get all the shows first, so you can be one of the first to hear it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate it. And also leave a comment or two. Let us know what you think of what we're doing. Cleveland, you ready?
We're ready to get this going.
It's December 16, 2020, Mr. Cleveland. It is week 117, as I mentioned, just a couple more weeks in this year. Cleveland, when you think of the number 16, man, who wore it best? George Blanda, Lynn Dawson, Bobby Hall. Who wore that number 16 best?
Oh, with 16, I'm going to have to go with Joe Cool. Joe Montana wore it best, Cam.
You can't get much argument from me there, but Lynn Dawson was one of the first to do it, man. Carried those KC Chiefs to the championship so many years ago. Then he was on TV a lot, so there are a lot of people familiar with Lynn Dawson. How about that number 17? Where did you go with John Havlicek? Let's see if you give University of Washington grad some love here. Number 17, who wore it best, or who first come to your mind?
Who first comes to mind is a guy from the University of Washington, ironically, Cam, a guy named Keith Price.
Keith Price.
He was there when the program was kind of turning that corner from anonymity to getting back in that national prominent stage, and he was a great quarterback.
Okay.
Kind of comes to mind first.
However, go ahead.
You thought I was going to go with Chris Chandler, which is a great quarterback.
I mean, somebody who actually has some national prominence from the University of Washington. I mean,
sure
Rose Bowl champion, went on to be an NFL, great NFL quarterback for several years in the league. He might have 17 years in the league.
But what I'm saying here, Cam, the question is, who comes to mind first?
Yeah.
It was Keith Price. Perhaps because he was a little bit more recent and, he was kind of resurrecting the program adverse, carrying it on, in its tradition.
Okay. So, all right, so just say you never heard of Chris Chandler. Just say you never heard of Chris Chandler.
No, I've heard of Okay. Anyways, like I said, and then who wore it best? John Havlicek. Hondo did wear it best. So sorry.
Okay. What about Super Bowl champion Doug Williams?
Wore it very well, valiantly, and did win the Super Bowl. The first African-American quarterback to do so.
So you lead the league in fumbles. You lead the league in career fumbles. You get no love from Cleveland, huh?
I'm just saying, who wore it best?
Right, I feel you. Havlicek. How many rings did he got? Did he have 6 or 7 of them?
At least.
Mr. Cleveland, this was an interesting Sunday here that just passed. A couple things, and one of the big games that the public was keeping their eye on was what was going on down there in South Florida. Now, I've been told, people have been trying to convince me that we have the next coming in number 1, Tua Tagovailoa. However, I've been a little skeptical because I just haven't seen the breakthrough. I haven't seen the sidelines part. I haven't seen the defenses split wide open, and I've seen some good plays here and there. I just haven't seen enough good plays. I've seen a lot of inconsistencies, and although they played the defending Super Bowl champions on Sunday, I saw more inconsistencies with the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Throwing the ball at receiver feet, not letting the ball go, holding on to it too long. Again, albeit it was against the defending champion, and I'm not comparing them to the other quarterback, number 15, on the other side of the ball. I just seen some inconsistencies. Cleveland, are you willing to admit there's been some inconsistencies for that guy?
Well, Cam, a few questions real quick. Are you saying that you're ready to pull the plug on the Tua Tagovailoa experiment 4 games into it in his first inaugural season? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I thought.
So you're just saying that you're seeing inconsistencies in a rookie quarterback in their 4th game. Yeah, inconsistencies come from rookie quarterbacks in their 4th game after, missing quite a bit of time with a broken ankle. Yes, that happens. I thought your statement was kind of rhetorical. I didn't understand what you were trying to say.
I'm saying something. I was told this guy is the next coming, and we should be ready to. Was
that supposed to be happening? Was that supposed to be happening in 4 games? I mean, he has to learn the environment. He has to learn the system, Cam. I mean, I know that he's been building up to this, and there's a certain learning curve that comes with that. But goodness gracious, what were you expecting?
So now there's a learning curve. So Now there's a learning curve when we was told he's the next coming and he's a difference maker. Now you're going to fall back on the learning curve. That's what you're telling me?
Well, he is a rookie quarterback that is coming off of injury, so,
So through six games, 62% passing, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He actually has a 92% QBR, if I'm reading this correctly. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of inconsistencies. Man, I'm seeing some some plays being left on the field. This was actually Sunday was his second worst game as far as the rating goes. Third worst game as far as the rating goes against the defending champs. I'll give him that. And I'm not trying to grade him too far, but he had 58% passing, 28 of 48. He did throw for 316 yards, 360 yards, but there were some missed passes there. He is struggling because there is no running game. I'll grant you that, and the receivers are falling down around him. However, I'm not seeing number 5 pick in the draft. That's what I'm saying. After six games with the 4-2 record, I'm not seeing number 5 pick in the draft, and I'm hoping that changes. How about that? Because right now, I'm not seeing it, and I'm questioning what's going on. So this week we have the New England Patriots, and you know what Bill Belichick does historically against rookie quarterbacks. If you don't, I'll remind you he's 20-5 against rookie quarterbacks. And although they're not looking like world beaters themselves, it's going to be very interesting to see kind of how they fare when Miami travels to New England and plays against the New England Patriots. Let's talk about another rookie quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who got to start against the Saints, who some people didn't expect a lot from Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went in there and wins the game. He beat a 12-2 team, and he moved the chains. When the chains were there to be moved, he moved the chains. When the opportunity was there, he struck. He came in and hit touchdown routes early. He was able to make it happen. Did you watch that game, and what do you think of Jalen Hurts' performance?
Jesus, Cam. So a couple of things. I mean, I know that some people had, picked the New Orleans Saints to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm sure they were quite astonished at how things, ultimately transpired between, the New Orleans Saints and the Philadelphia Eagles. But I thought Jalen Hurts did exactly what he was supposed to do. He's been a winner everywhere he's been. He came in, he understood the offense. He stayed within himself. He checked down when he needed to check down. He ran for 100 yards. I mean, he just brings that extra spark to the offense, and, the New Orleans Saints just weren't prepared for it. I thought he did fantastic in his, his first start as a NFL quarterback.
Made the Eagles' offense look a lot different than they have over the past few weeks, right? And looked a lot more consistent, correct?
Certainly, and him getting 100 yards and Miles Sanders getting 100 yards, it's a little bit more than the New Orleans Saints could handle, and you started to see the limitations of Taysom Hill. Certainly, when games are, the New Orleans Saints are in a deficit and not up by a bunch of points, and you can run the offense a little bit differently, and all those gimmick plays, they're not quite as significant.
Okay. So the Saints are the rebounds. Obviously, they're struggling with Drew Brees. I think this is their first loss since Drew Brees hasn't been a quarterback, right? So, the Saints are still in a good position here. They're still in the top 5 should be in the top 5 of most people's rankings of the season. Their supremacy rankings thus far in the season. So I don't think the Saints have actually fallen off. But let's talk about that Ravens and Browns game on Monday night. You have it as the best game of the season?
Oh, my gosh. Without question.
Without question. It was a good game. It was some comebacks. One team took the lead, another team came back and took the lead. It wasn't. I don't think was it better than Arizona beating Buffalo? Was it better than the Seahawks and the Vikings from Week 5? Was it better than the Texans and Titans in Week 6 that went to overtime? Like, it was a good game.
Oh my goodness! Better than all those games, Cam. What game are you watching? For crying out loud! Let me remind you of what happened here. Okay,
let's talk about it.
The Baltimore Ravens were down. Okay, they got a Trace McSorley because Lamar Jackson had cramps. Okay, after coming off of COVID. Okay. Trace McSorley goes down. They have no other quarterback. Lamar Jackson, after having cramps, comes running out onto the field. 4th and 5 out of the locker room. 4th and 5, Cam. Comes in and throws a touchdown.
I mean, that was a
comes in and throws a touchdown.
He threw
Unbelievable. I'm not done here, Cam. Cam, I'm not done here.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Baker
Progressive
Mayfield.
Insurance. Then drives his team down the field, scores a touchdown.
Positive about Baker Mayfield? You gonna say something positive about Baker?
I am. Woo. It was amazing. It was amazing the way that he showed leadership and field generalship to drive his team down, score a touchdown. Amazing.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens come back down, okay, and get in field goal position for Justin Tucker. The field goal position for most people, for most teams, means like I need to get like a 40-yard field goal. No, man. Get me to 55 yards and I'll hit it.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest. We already knew that.
They got him to 55 yards. He hit the field goal. Ripped the heart out of the Cleveland Browns fans. Unbelievable fashion.
So you're giving me a fantastic finish is what you're giving me. Fantastic finish. That's what you're telling me. You're giving me a fantastic finish.
So then, in addition to that, the Ravens still had a chance to do something to win it. Excuse me. The Browns had a chance to do something to win it.
Right.
Unfortunately, came up with a safety, which changed the betting pool for Vegas by $3 million. Unbelievable.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
They went the wrong direction. Like Landry, you know how I love Landry, the receiver Jarvis Landry. Why the hell are you standing in the end zone? Why are you standing in the end zone, Jarvis? What are you doing back there? What are you doing back there? Like, why are you standing in the end zone? So, all in all, it was a game that the Browns were 9-3. You had no belief in the Browns in their 9-3 record. I've asked you 3 of the last 4 weeks, do you believe in the Browns? You told me no, and no. The Ravens, who we both picked the Ravens to win that game, came back and won that game as they should have, as expected. I just wasn't floored by what happened. Like, I wasn't floored by it. Baker Mayfield, he played a strong game. He did drive them down. I mean, they have an awesome running game. They have, again, we talked about this, Cleveland, for the last 2.5 weeks. They have a strong running game. They relied heavily on the running game and the 1 or 2 passes to the receivers, and the Browns were able to score easily. The Ravens, they're over there, they're still drawing stuff up in the dirt. And they're still drawing stuff up in the sand. As you mentioned, they missed their quarterback, and that was the Browns' chance to actually kind of close that game out. The Ravens' defense is strong, as we already know. They're stronger than most teams. That's what they hang their hat on. They're running the ball, playing good defense. The quarterback and they're able to get 100 yards rushing from, their dual threat quarterback, it makes them real tough to beat, and that's what they got on Monday night. I just didn't see that as it was a good game. I didn't see it as the greatest game of the year. I didn't see that. I was oblivious. I didn't see that. But nonetheless, I thought it was kind of what was already supposed to happen, and so that's why I don't see it as the greatest game of the year. Was that bad? Was that bad Steelers or good Bills?
Good Bills. I will have to concede. Stephon Diggs is that dude.
That was, oh wow! Ding 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 ding. That I had that later in the podcast. I wanted to know. I wanted you to rank him amongst the top receivers in the game.
Okay, I'm not going to do all that. I'm simply going to say you're right. Stephon Diggs is that dude.
Wow.
100 catches. He's got 100 catches. There's still 3 games left. Unbelievable.
Wow.
He makes a significant difference to that offense. They used him. They utilized him. Josh Allen starting to feel himself a little bit. Should not have beat the Steelers, but they did. So good win for the Bills.
So, yeah, good win for the Bills. Stephon Diggs already knew he was a good receiver, and I would have hit you with this last week, or I think it was at least 2 weeks ago. But, however, the receiver they replaced him with is encroaching on 1,000 yards receiving. Doesn't have as many catches, but he's encroaching on 1,000 yards receiving that Minnesota replaced him with, a rookie receiver. So, it would have been a tough argument to say that Minnesota's missing him because they're still getting quality production from that same spot. I'm not going to say the young receiver Jefferson is as good as Diggs, but again, as I mentioned, they're still getting quality play from that same position. But it's nice to hear you come around. Nice to hear you admit that. And I'm going to jump ahead and give you credit because at the beginning of the season, when we pulled I'm going to still have to go back to this. Let's see if I can pull this up as we talk. But at the beginning of the season, I asked you for your playoff predictions. And do you recall who you had winning the NFC East? You probably don't even recall.
Cam, I picked the Washington football team because I thought Ron Rivera was going to go over there and change the culture and kind of, make things happen with regards to, kind of changing that mindset over there.
And it appears that, you were right there. Those guys are a game away from leading the division. I think they're tied for it, actually. And they're getting the receivers the quarterback is injured. I'm trying to see if I can pull that specific show up. Their quarterback is injured, and they had to go to Mr. Comeback Player of the Year, and Alex Smith. He gets injured, and then they have to go back to Haskins to get some production from him, and yet their defense is carrying that squad. I think that's rather impressive, kind of what they're doing over there, and a large part of it is on their defense. Now, I think some guys went a little too far. Some guys went a little too far in saying that your guy, Chase Young, looks like number 56 of the past. But he's having a good season, and they are performing well. So NFC East, Cleveland, I had the Eagles. You have the Washington football team winning that division. Just as a quick, since I have this up, who did you have winning the North, NFC North?
The North, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers winning that.
No, NFC North.
Oh, NFC North. I had Chicago Bears.
No, you had the Green Bay Packers, who's in position.
Oh, I did have them. So I was right.
Yeah. I'm just pointing that out. Since I have it here, I wanted to review this at least a week ago, but.
So I'm basically 8 for 8 in division winners. Is that what you're saying?
8 for 8? No, sir. No, sir. And who'd you have winning the AFC East?
I think I did have the Patriots doing that.
The AFC North?
To the AFC East.
Yeah. You had the Patriots. You're correct. AFC North? Well, and I had the Bills to just while we're at it. I had the Bills winning the AFC. Reluctantly had the Bills winning the AFC East. Who'd you have winning the AFC North? Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns.
I want to say the Ravens, probably.
Yeah, the Ravens. You are correct. AFC South?
Oh, I had the Titans doing that.
Oh, you and your boy Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
And obviously, I had the Titans as well. Obviously, the Chiefs repeating the AFC West crowns. Who'd you have winning the NFC West?
NFC West, I had the Seattle Seahawks, Cam.
Yeah, where are they?
Tied for the lead in the NFC West.
Are they tied for the lead at 9-4? With,
they sure are. So okay, yeah. So right, like I said, right?
And
okay, yeah, good talk. Okay,
NFC South.
Next division.
NFC South.
Oh, I had the Saints doing that.
I actually had the Niners winning the NFC West.
Sure.
Yeah.
I look back on it. In retrospect, not a great pick, but how could you have known how many injuries they were going to have? So no fault to you, We're doing this in August, September, Cam. You can't always prognosticate like young Sam Rossi, and that's what I do. I mean, come on.
Oh, boy, here we go. So, Washington football team, I had the Eagles winning that division. Eagles will not win that division, clearly. Niners will not win that division, clearly. And I think those are the 2 ones. Everybody else has a chance to win their division. You had I was trying to give you credit because you did have the Washington football team, and I laughed at you for that. And good call by you. Packers, Saints, Seahawks, Patriots will not win that division. So you'll have two losses. So it looks like we're about equal right there in division winners because you have the Patriots, they won't win it, and who else you have in there? The Patriots, the Ravens aren't going to win their division either. So, but I just wanted to call that out. I was just trying to give you a little bit of credit there, and don't go too far off that ledge because you're going to break that branch. But they had a big win over the Niners, and it's Chase Young giving you all you expected this season.
A little later than sooner. Of course, the way that I was praising him early in the season, I expected him to be just extremely dominant from week 1. A little overly optimistic on my part, but we are starting to see him starting to put it together, get a little healthier. I don't know if anyone saw the game against Detroit where he got the 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty leading to a 55-yard field goal, but they should actually have an extra win. But he's starting to understand, what it is that he can do. and he's going to be a force in this league for years to come.
Yeah, he is going to be a force. He's going to be a beast. I just hate when people jump automatically to try to compare him to the greatest to ever play the game, and it's kind of a turn off there. Chargers and Falcons. Did you see that game? Did you see how both of them tried to give the game away? And was that good Chargers, bad Falcons?
Oh man, I'm not going to go either way on that, Cam. That game was so ridiculous. I saw some of the special teams blunders. I saw the field goal mishap at the end of the first half. I mean, whoever won that game, whatever, man. Those two teams are going in the wrong direction, and I'll just leave it at that.
So you saw, what was your breakdown?
And I hate to say it, with the two African American coaches facing each other, but man, they're going in the wrong direction.
And that's what I hate about. That's what I hate about this. The Chargers collapse. They got Anthony Lynn leading them right down the drain. What was your thoughts on the end of the half debacle there? What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is that it shows that you don't have any conception of clock management, man. What are you doing? Why are you running those kind of plays? And then who's in charge of sending the personnel out onto the field if whatever you did or didn't work? I mean, come on now. You can't be confused at that point.
So, in the fact that it's happened 3 of the last 4 weeks is even more ridiculous. And
the head coach supposedly took over the calling of that, and it still happened.
But Cleveland, okay. Have you played Madden? You're not much of a video game guy, I understand. Have you played Madden?
I have played it before, but like you said, I'm not much of a video game guy.
Cleveland, these are things you know simply from playing Madden. Like clock management, clock management in Madden. If there's less than 15 seconds on the clock, you can't run the ball with no timeouts. You got to throw a quick pass, hope it, either they complete it or it's incomplete pass because you can't throw it in the middle of the field and get tackled. These are simple things you know. You don't call these plays in Madden. Like, how are you actually calling these in a live football game? How don't you understand? And I can't put all the blame on the coach. I got to put some of the blame on the quarterback. Like, similar to when Russell Wilson was leading the comeback drive for the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots. And, okay, you get the call in from the sideline saying, pass the ball, which was a terrible call itself, knowing you got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. At what point do you say, I'm running the ball? Either I'm going to run it or I'm going to give it to this beast back here. But we know Russell was the ass kisser to the coach, and he's not going to go outside of what the coach calls. So we knew that, and okay, it's in his second or third year. He's not going to deviate from what the coach calls. But do you need a coach to make that call? Is kind of, I guess, the point I'm making. Do you even need the coach to make that call? You, for playing football for the last 10 to 15 years, playing the quarterback position for the last 10 to 15 years, have been in that situation before, regardless at what level. Regardless at what level. You've been in that position before. You should know what to do in that situation. You should know you don't run the fucking ball up the middle with 15 seconds on the clock, and you can't get the ball. Then you can't get the ball spiked and get the field goal unit on the field. I mean, you should know that. I can't put it all on the coach, but through coaching, you should know that if you didn't already know that through just your experience playing a football game. You feel what I'm saying?
I completely understand what you're saying. I'm not quite sure if the comparisons to being from the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl is the same as being in the middle of the field against the Falcons, but understanding understanding down and distance, understanding time and clock management is essential, and they simply did not do that. I mean, you don't have enough time to do what it is that they were trying to do, and if you're the head coach and you're in charge of the special teams, then you definitely should be cognizant of all that, and they were not.
Yeah, that was a bad look, man. That was a bad look. The coach got peppered with questions about it, but yes, it was terrible. It was a terrible look. Good Rams, bad Patriots.
Bad Patriots. They're just not very good, and Cam is not very good. It's unfortunate to watch the demise of 4 years ago NFL MVP, but he's not that dude anymore.
Does he get a job next year? Does he get a job next season outside of New England?
I think that he has gotten the reputation of not being the most humble player and probably not the best locker room guy, whether that's fair or not. That it has been his knock. And no, I don't see it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think this is. I mean, I guess I could kind of see him coming back because what are the Patriots going to do? They're going to draft somebody, and do you throw a rookie right out there?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I think he's going to come back to the NFL. He is not coming back to the Patriots under any circumstance.
Under any circumstance?
No.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't get a job by the Patriots.
No, because he wouldn't be coming back to be the starter because they're going to upgrade at the quarterback position, and he wouldn't be coming back to be the backup, so he won't be a Patriot next year. That is out of the question.
Wow. So if he's not a Patriot, you think he works in the NFL again?
That's what I just said, Cam. Come on. Listen to what I'm saying here. Given the fact that he has been labeled as a malcontent, somewhat of a diva, and not a great locker room player, and the fact that he probably can't be a starting quarterback, the question becomes, do you want him to be your backup quarterback? And if he's not really good for the team or the locker room, then the answer would be no. So, no, I don't think he has a place in the NFL next year.
Ooh, that's a big fall from grace. Cleveland didn't even have him in the league next year.
I do not. Unfortunate, but true.
I can actually see him with the Patriots next season. Unless, I mean, who are they going to get? They're not going to get Andy Dalton.
Being with the Patriots doing what? Being the backup quarterback?
No, I can see him starting the season next year.
He will not start for the New England Patriots next year.
The Patriots have no talent, no wide receiver. Who's their name? A wide receiver? Edelman's hurt. Name somebody else they have at a wide receiver position. A name,
Man,
somebody.
You act like you have not been watching Cam Newton throw a football this season. That dude is not a starting quarterback in the league anymore.
I've seen him play a few games. I'm just telling you, who does he have to work with?
So Cam, here's what I'm saying. There's no other team in the league that says, "Man, I wish Cam Newton was our starting quarterback."
No,
so that leaves all of the starting positions out, and then the question becomes, do you want him to be your backup quarterback? And like I said, his reputation is such that he's an arrogant malcontent that's not good for your locker room.
Right.
So, and he's probably not going to be real happy about the fact that he has to hold a clipboard. He does not look like a clipboard holder. That does not look like a Gary Kubiak type of quarterback to me.
Okay.
How about you? Does he look like a guy that's going to, be a, trying to draw up some plays on the side and, hey, man, just whatever you need me to do, coach, kind of guy? It's the number one pick in the draft, Heisman Trophy winner, NFL MVP. backup does not sound like something he's really interested in or really cut out for.
You may be right, but when they offer him another $1 million and nobody else is offering him anything, I think that clipboard is going to look real good. I mean, he'll get a chance
for regular people, but not for people that rip open their chest as if they're Superman. No, he would just rather go off into the pasture, and just that was fun.
Go back to Atlanta, huh?
I mean, go back to doing what he was doing before he was, Cam Newton. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need a laptop, so I think he'd be in good shape. That'll be it'll be interesting to see, man. It'll be interesting to see. I think they'll have a place for him in New England because he did suck it up and play this year, and they have zero talent. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to draft a rookie, and they're going to need a veteran to play alongside that rookie. And if you can learn from Cam Newton, if they can get anything out of him, they'll do it. So we're on different sides of the coin here. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out. So Cleveland, looking at our confidence picks last week, you care to read the list off?
I'm not going to read the whole thing off, Cam. I'm just going to ask you who was the team that you were the most confident in, and how did they do?
Good question. I had New Orleans.
Oh,
whooping the Eagles' butt. That's what I had.
Taysom and those guys, huh? You thought Taysom was going to keep riding the wave, huh? Not enough tape just yet.
Well, I didn't expect Jalen Hurts to change the whole trajectory and the whole direction of the Eagles team, and what he apparently came in there and did. The offensive line started blocking, the running backs started running harder, the receivers were making plays, and he changed everything, and that's what happens. The same kind of copy.
And no tape. And no tape, right?
Yeah, it helps. So, all right, I had New Orleans winning. You had New Orleans as well. Obviously, you didn't have them at number 5, but
I didn't have quite as much confidence in them as you did, right?
Okay, what about who's winning this? Who's winning this category?
Oh, I believe with the 12-10 victory that I had this week, I think I'm back on top.
Oh well, I urge you to kind of look at
or should be if the mathematics are working out correctly.
Here we go. Well, you're not quite winning there, buddy. You're still behind.
Okay, well, I have to get my forensic accountants back on this. Come on, Cam. What's going on here?
Pull them out. Bring them out. And
so, according to you, you're winning.
I mean, which stat sheet are you looking at?
So what is the score? Just so I know. I think I know, but I want to hear your version of what.
Oh, you can't see 154 to 153, 73% to 72%. You can't see that.
See what?
Huh?
Okay.
I mean, I just want to know if you can see. If you can see it or not, let the people know that you can read that the stats.
Fans, I will get my guys on this. You know how I feel about this, so the forensic accountants are at work.
Okay, all right. Well, don't
like stat corrector in Yahoo. Like you feel like you're losing, but then stat correction, you're actually winning. So
yeah,
don't be surprised if the outcome is a little bit different next week once my forensic accountants get on things. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you want some overturn the votes like somebody else we know. That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like you understand that sometimes you're a little bit, off the mark on exactly how these things are transpiring week to week.
All right, so go down the list. You had Houston over the Bears.
Okay.
We both took the L there. We both had Carolina over the Broncos. We both took the L there. For some reason you had Atlanta over the Chargers. That was the third game I think I picked the Chargers this season. And I had Buffalo over Pittsburgh. You were still riding Pittsburgh. And that gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, 7 zeros, 6 zeros. They gave you six zeros to my 4. So again, this week I win this category 75% to 62%. Your picks against the spread, we hit on both. So 15 and 13 in total this year so far. And then I'm comfortably ahead in the pick segment. Overall pick segment. I'm comfortably ahead now, so I'm not worried about that one. Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
So this week, interesting how Pittsburgh they lose 2 games and they're just completely out of your list at all. Did you even have Buffalo in your supremacy rankings last week?
Yeah, they were in there.
Did you have Buffalo? Tennessee wasn't in there. So
Tennessee
all of a
was
sudden,
not, no.
You got KC, Green Bay. You follow my picks. Buffalo, we agree on. New Orleans at number 4. And Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh at number 5. Pittsburgh over Tennessee. They did have 2 bad losses, but they dropped from 2nd to, I think, 4th last week and 5th this week. So, any objections with my list, sir? Well, you can only beat Pittsburgh.
No objections with your list, Cam. I understand that, you're kind of a fair weather fan and you kind of do things kind of on the fly, and that's fine. I'm putting Pittsburgh out of it because, again, like you said, back-to-back losses. I didn't like them. And, it's been attrition over there. They're losing linebackers, by the dozen over there. They're just not the same defensive team that they were, and it's showing. And Ben Roethlisberger, my goodness, he's starting to age in those dog years that we talk about with football players. And, week to week, he's looking more and more like, wow, that's not the guy that you want to go with for a long period of time. Let's get through this season, and man, hopefully you have some type of contingency plan for next year if halfway through the season this doesn't look good, because, man, Ben's been playing a while.
And so you go with your boy Ryan Tannehill as number 5 best team in the.
Well, we all know what Ryan Tannehill's capable of, and the way he's been able to resurrect his career since getting into a better environment and having a running game that helps him be
there you
a
go.
great
There
game manager and a strong defense. And now he's got a few more weapons on offense. At wide receiver, and he's just showing what he can do.
Yeah, now that he has a running game, as you started to say, right?
Ryan Tannehill is an elite quarterback in this league.
Oh, my goodness. You're just saying that, buddy. You don't believe that. You do not believe that.
Ryan Tannehill is an elite quarterback in this league.
Again, you don't believe it. I'm not buying that. So next week you won't have Tennessee in your top 5. I'll put it like that. Next week you won't.
Well, we'll have to see what Ryan Tannehill does and how he's capable of playing. 300 yards. He's capable at any time. Yeah.
Against the Lions? Come on, give me a break. Let's see what he does when he's there ready to do it. But Cleveland, let's take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about somebody staying in Milwaukee, and then I want your thoughts on 7-Eleven. So let's take a break here. What's good, fans? It's NBA action, Cleveland. We got NBA action preseason this week. And I want to know, man, what have you seen? What's been most impressive for you during these early preseason games? You guys for the purple and gold, they're not all out there playing. the first two times they played the Clippers, though, the bench squad ran the Clippers off the court. We get LaMelo playing and making his freaky deaky passes. We get Ja Morant showing that he's ready to get back in the league. Atlanta's trying to work things out. Phoenix is trying to work things out. What's been most impressive to you as the NBA starts their preseason back this week?
I think it's the most impressive thing is the way Montrezl Harrell has been able to come over to the Los Angeles Lakers and kind of fit into their whole mindset and philosophy so seamlessly and kind of bring that energy and enthusiasm and that, that gusto to the team that they're, desperately lacking and needing. So I think that's been the most impressive thing of the NBA preseason so far.
Oh, really? And you noticed that in 16 minutes in the last two games? You noticed that? Huh?
When he is out there, he is giving them 100%, and the players are behind him. He's behind the players, the coaching staff, the organization from top to bottom. They just feel it's a great fit.
My goodness gracious, man. We hear this guy. And if you pull the tape from only about 9 months ago, when I was describing what Montrezl Harrell brought to the court, Cleveland couldn't help but laugh.
No. That's what he brought to the Clippers. You were talking about what he brought to the Clippers. I'm not talking about what he brings to the NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers. That's a whole different dynamic.
Oh, my goodness gracious. See, okay, whatever, dude. What do you think about Giannis re-signing with the Milwaukee Bucks? And he rejects the Lakers offer of going to LA. He signs with the Milwaukee Bucks. What do you think about that?
Well, I definitely applaud what he's doing. He is planting his stake in the ground, his flag in the ground in Milwaukee, and taking the Supermax money. Let's not forget that part. And just saying, hey, man, I don't want to go that route. I feel the same way I feel about Damian Lillard. Hey, I could probably do that, but I've just chosen not to do that, and let's try and make it work here. So I like his energy, I like his mindset, I like where he's going with that.
Hey man, what is it? 228 over 5 years? Yeah, why not? Right?
It is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not get it? Huh?
The largest contract in the history of the National Basketball Association, so why not do that?
What do you think about your thoughts? Share your thoughts on the Nets 7-Eleven.
A cute little catchy little phrase for those guys, man. We'll see how they fare in New York. I know they're in Brooklyn and not in Madison Square, but still, we'll see how things go when New York really rains down on them. And they both seem like very sensitive superstar athletes, so hopefully they're able to withstand that 7-Eleven moniker, through an entire season and, do some things when people are, no longer as nice to them as they are in the preseason.
You think there's going to be some issues there with the team, with the guys, with the leaders on the squad?
I think there. Well, first of all, they don't have any leadership. They have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, their best players, and Steve Nash as someone that was kicking around a soccer ball a few weeks ago, and now is the head coach of the team. So
three-time MVP,
two-time
MVP.
So yeah.
They have.
So yeah, no, they don't.
Tony, Amari Stoudemire on the sideline. I mean, those are a lot of.
So those aforementioned last players that you named, other than Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, have never won anything. So no, they're not going to get any leadership from them. And what I'm saying here is, it's all cute when those guys are 13-2. It's not all cute when those guys are 27-20. So we'll see how the whole season plays out and what those guys are able to do. But you have two very sensitive superstar players, franchise players. So the 7-Eleven moniker. I hope it works out, man. Yeah. Keep it running, man. They'll be doing 7-Eleven commercials and stuff, in March. Let's see if they're still doing them in, July. That's all I'm saying.
I almost hate asking this question, Cleveland, but with voice of the fans, we got to keep it real. What's your thoughts on the Clippers, Cleveland? Are you concerned with the Clippers and Ty Lue as leadership and running Pat Bev at the point guard? What's your thoughts on this situation?
Tyronn Lue is the coach of an NBA championship winning team. So he's certainly got the pedigree. Actually coached a team that went to the championship 4 straight years, correct?
Yep, 3 years anyway.
And so, yeah, great leadership there. Paul George has signed that massive extension. He's going to be in Los Angeles for quite a while, yeah. It's a little stability there, right?
Well, supposedly. That's what the contract offers you, yeah.
Okay, sure. And then you have Patrick Beverley. He's always proven to be very steady. Someone that the team can depend on to give his, complete self to the team.
What is his complete self? Is he actual – can the team win with him as a point guard? That's kind of my question. Has a team won with him as your primary point guard?
Well, no team has ever won with Patrick Beverley as their primary point guard. So, I mean, I'm hoping that's not like, the example that you're looking for with regards to can this team win with Patrick Beverley as their point guard, because no team has ever won with Patrick Beverley as their point guard. So that's a little unfair to Patrick Beverley, but
what's unfair? What's unfair? If he hasn't been able to win with the team in his past, and I think it's an 8-year, 9-year career, why should we be excited that he's going to do it this season?
Well, the focus, in my opinion, should be on Kawhi Leonard and PG-13 because they're the straws that stir the drink. It's not Patrick Beverley. He's going to do what he does. He's going to be very tenacious, very energetic, very enthusiastic. He's going to lock down on defense. He's going to give you all he got.
Oh, boy.
But again, playing point guard in the Western Conference is a little bit more difficult than that.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You try to say that with a straight face. You should be ashamed of yourself, Cleveland.
I'm just saying, playing point guard in the Western Conference is a little bit more difficult than that, and it takes a little bit more skill and ability other than just effort and heart. So, I'm not quite sure where the Clippers are going to end up. Where do you think the Clippers are going to end up this year, Cam? Because last year you said championship. How do you feel this year?
Well, I'm not.
Let me rephrase the question. Do you think the Los Angeles Clippers are going to win the NBA championship this year? Because last year you were emphatically yes.
It's not looking like it, Cleveland. Here's my concern.
Oh, wow.
Here's
Clipper Nation. I hope Clipper Nation is not listening.
Well, I mean, they'll know if they've heard me talk, and I'm being honest as I have been for the last 2.5 years of covering this team. Here's my concerns. Kawhi is a leader by example. All right? He's not a vocal leader. I asked him after last year, if last year would ask him, after what happened last year, would that encourage him to change his leadership style? He flat out said, I'm not changing my style. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. Okay? The team lacked leadership going into the playoffs. I mentioned that I asked Patrick Beverley about that specific thing. Patrick Beverley, I think the team lacked leadership. He said, why do you say that? Oh, I was kind of surprised he threw the question back at me. Well, sir, here's why I think that. And then he went on to correct me and say, well, he thought it was mental toughness. These interviews can be heard on the Voice of the Fans YouTube page where you can hear my communication with these players. When he threw it back at me, I was kind of taken back, and I went ahead and answered it how I thought. I thought going down the stretch, the team lacked leadership. They needed somebody to be coaching them. Doc was crying over there on the sidelines like, guys, we're letting this thing slip away. We're losing this game, and nobody on the team stepped up. No players on the team. There was no kind of in-your-face verbal communication, verbal encouragement from the players. Everybody was just ho-hum and kind of going about what was accepting what was happening. As the leader of the team, Kawhi Leonard, he was leading by example, but he didn't have it in Game 7. So if he didn't have it in Game 7, he's not encouraging nobody else to have it in Game 7. We saw how Paul fizzled out in Game 7. Now, those are the best two on the team. If they're not going to get excited, get emotional, be passionate about the losing, who else on the team is going to be passionate about the losing? Patrick Beverley is a defensive antagonist. He's not a leader of the team. He's not a point guard that's going to get everybody in rhythm. He's not a point guard who's going to get Paul George the ball in his prime shooting location. He's not going to put everybody in place, run the offense to get Kawhi Leonard the ball, driving to the hoop, hit him with a bounce pass, hit him with a behind-the-back pass, hit him with a pass in rhythm to make the shots easy for him. What we saw last season was Paul George and Kawhi Leonard working too hard for their shots. They weren't getting easy buckets in the playoffs. That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm talking about is the playoff action. They're going to have a good enough record just because of the talent on the team to take them to at least fourth in the West. But when it comes down to crunch time and the last few minutes of the game in the playoffs, they need somebody who's going to be able to put the ball on Paul George in shooting rhythm where he wants the ball. They're going to need somebody to put the ball on Lou Williams where he needs and wants the ball in shooting space. Lou Williams, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, they all can get each other the ball. They all can get shots for each other. However, that's not what I want them to be focused on. As a coach, I wouldn't want them to be focused on that. I would want a point guard, a pass-first point guard on this team to direct the offense, to make sure that the offense gets running, to make sure a Rajon Rondo type, to make sure these guys get the ball in their optimum shooting position. That's what I would want a point guard to do. That's exactly what I want a point guard to do. That's why I think they're missing out, because they don't have, at least it doesn't appear that they have that guy on the court as of this moment. I asked Ty Lue, will they prepare Terrence Mann for this position? Does he think Terrence Mann can develop into this role? Terrence Mann only his second year on the team, second year in the league, 6'6", 225-pound point guard who has a lot of ability. He's played 1 through 3 in college, 4-year guy in college. So he has some skills, but does he have that point guard floor leadership skills? Does he have that? That I don't know. I asked Coach Lue about that. Coach Lue told me, well, we want him just to play basketball. We don't want him to be burdened with running the team, leading the team, getting those guys, leading the team late in the fourth quarter and getting those guys buckets. We don't want to focus on that. That's trouble to me. That's one of the issues they had in the playoffs. So one of the issues they had in the playoffs was they couldn't get easy buckets. When they couldn't get easy buckets or shot one falling, they had nobody to turn to. There was no emotional leader on that team. Does Marcus Morris a full season with you guys? Does he change that dynamic? Does he change that the emotional leadership? Will he be able to now, a year fully invested, a year fully on the team, because only he came in halfway through the year last year? Does him being on the team a full year give him the authority, the gravitas, the huevos to get up in Kawhi Leonard's face and say, you got to, man, wake up, snap out of it. You got to turn it on. Paul George, the same thing. Does he have that? We don't know. Time will tell. But they don't have a point guard to help the guys out, to help the team get easy buckets. That emotional leader, we're still waiting to see who that is. And the leadership is still questioned. So those are three things that I think cost them, and those are three things that I think that those three things cost them in the playoffs, and there's three things that I think are a factor going into the season. What Coach Lou does, obviously, he has championship history, championship leadership, championship DNA. How does he express that or weave that within the team? That's yet to be proven. However, I'm less confident just because of the stuff I've heard directly out of these guys' mouths. Do you understand what I'm saying? Did that make any sense?
It made perfect sense. Second round.
See, I don't even think I guess I asked for that. Because I can't even get no objective commentary from Mr. Cleveland. He's so full of himself, and that Cuban zirconia is going to look real good next week. That's all I got to say about that. Cleveland, let's take a little break here, man. When we come back, we're going to talk about this day in history. We're going to talk about we got some off-the-field stories. We got some on-the-field stories. Want to know what's up with your Pac-10? What's up with your UW Huskies, man? Why did they just get yanked out of Pac-10 championship like that? I want your thoughts on that. So let's take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about these things. What's good, fans? We're going to talk about this week in history as we do each and every week, kind of give you guys a history lesson of some of the things in the past. Make sure we shout out some of our predecessors and those who succeeded before us. Cleveland, 12/20, 1860, man. South Carolina succeeds from the Union, initiating the Civil War. 1860, a long time ago. A few years later, actually, 12/18, December 18th, 1865, Congress passed the 13th Amendment. I'm sure you heard about that, right? Abolishing slavery, supposedly. We just saw it in different forms many years after that. But 1865, they abolished slavery. It wasn't until 100 years later that, things started to change in black folks, and the Civil Rights Union actually was getting noticed for doing positive works in the community. 12/10, I think this is supposed to be 1974. O.J. Simpson was the first one to rush for over 2,000 yards, getting 2,003 yards in a single NFL season. And 12/15, 1992, Cleveland, what happened?
12/15/1992.
Dr. Dre released The Chronic. 1.
Ooh.
To the 4.
Wow.
The Chronic released 12/15/1992, man. It doesn't seem like that freaking long ago, Cleveland. That was almost 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Wow.
Jeez. Cleveland, what do you do with Carson Wentz, man? After you bench him and you bring in the rookie, and the rookie performs like he did, what do you do with Carson Wentz?
Well, Cam, in my opinion, you don't go throwing him away just yet. I don't know if there's enough body of work on the Jalen Hurts resume to warrant trading Carson Wentz, but you're listening. You're definitely listening.
So if you're the coach going into next season, you remember Carson Wentz had that, until he got injured, he had the MVP season playing under Frank Wright. If you're the coach, would you entertain Carson Wentz, or would you have another season with Phillip Rivers?
To be perfectly honest, I don't think either one of those quarterbacks is the long-term solution in Indianapolis, so I probably wouldn't inquire about Carson Wentz if I was the Colts.
Interesting.
Chicago Bears is the team that I've been thinking most notably about, if we're just talking candidly, about where he should probably end up, if he ends up anywhere. think that would be the best team for him. But
so you're gonna take Foles, Nick Foles, off of Philly, and then you're gonna take Carson Wentz off of Philly? I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think they.
No, they didn't take Nick Foles off of Philly. They take Nick Foles off of Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, that's right. You're right about that. Okay, all right. Yeah, I give you that one. I still don't think that's gonna happen. Cleveland, can you and your cronies, man, stop comparing Chase Young to the best that ever played the game? Let the kid and have a young kid have a season that's good for his standards. But come on, man. To compare him to some of the greatest that ever played the game, come on. Can we settle down with this? Come on, man.
I will settle down. I will settle down and compare him to Chris Doman.
I mean, Chris Doman's still a Hall of Famer, though.
I know. You asked me to comment down from greatest of all time. I'm just saying. He's a pass rusher. He's a problem. He's a beast. He's going to get to the quarterback. You have 3 seconds. You don't have any more. And certainly if you're not trying to block him with just one dude. 2 dudes, you got 4 seconds. 1 dude, you got 3 seconds to throw the football, or he's going to be there.
Cleveland, on Sunday he had 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and half of media on TV wants to compare him to Lawrence Taylor. I mean, come on, guy.
Well, that's unfair, and that's a little premature. That's why I brought it back down. I said Chris Doman style.
I mean, Chris Doman's still a Hall of Famer.
Or for some of the younger kids, listen to the podcast. Simeon Rice.
Fair. There you go. I'll take that all day. 1, 2, 3.
In his rookie season. Now next year, we might have to change the conversation again. But rookie season, Simeon Rice style.
5.5 sacks. I mean, 5.5 sacks through his rookie year in his week 14. I mean, come on, that's.
Okay, well, don't stat me to death, Cam. Just look at what you're seeing on the field, man.
I'm just.
And he missed 3 games.
I'm just trying to give us some context. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give us some context, and so that's all I'm trying to do. That's really what I'm trying to do. I mean, your guy Chris Doman as a rookie had 0.5 sacks. He had double-digit sacks his 3rd year in the league. So 5th year in the league, he had 21. So there you go. In the first year, he's obviously, I wouldn't say surpassing him because Doman still had over 100 tackles. But his first year, 2 years, 16 games, or excuse me, not even 16 games. He played 13 games and then 9 games. So what's that? 22 games. He had 3.5 sacks. Okay. I mean, again, just giving the context. But, I mean, come on. Let's settle down on this guy. Cleveland, what's up with your Huskies, man? How did they just get yanked out of the Pac-12 championship?
Well, Cam, not sure if you heard, there is this thing, this pandemic that's sweeping the globe. It's called the coronavirus.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
They got sick. They didn't have enough players to field a competitive team. by Pac-12 rules. I'm not sure where the confusion is. I've heard a lot of little yip yap about this, like they're ducking people. No, they've got COVID.
Okay, all right. I mean, there's other teams playing though. I don't know if you noticed or not that there will be.
Okay, they don't have COVID. Or at least not as many players as the Washington Huskies do right now.
So sad.
I'm just giving them my support and hope they get better. That's all I'm doing, Cam.
Okay, all right.
Give a damn what the rest of the country is doing, trying to condemn and trying to act like they're ducking people and being soft and scary. No, they sick.
Well, listen, you finally standing up for your Huskies. You finally all these weeks. You finally standing up for your Huskies.
It's worried about the health and concern of the dogs.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Right, well, I can't argue that one. I wish you guys the best there. How about that?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Somebody who's not appreciating life right now is this youth coach down there in Georgia, I believe it was. Did you see the video of this youth coach smacking the player in the head, 9-year-old player, if you will, and then not only doing it one time, if he did it once, some of us can partially understand it. You bop in the head one time. Then you do it the second time, you essentially get a guy right across his ear hole, which send him to the ground. Like, come on, coach, what's going on here? Did you see this video? Your thoughts?
I did, and certainly the coach is not understanding the context of what's going on. These are young men, kids under the age of 10. I mean, they certainly shouldn't be held to the same standard of, grown men, and it seems like that's exactly what the coach was trying to do. Kids at that age, single digits are going to make mistakes, and sometimes, I don't want to say errors even, they're just going to have lapses of judgment, or not even judgment, of just, confusion or, not remember what it was that we're supposed to do. The reprimand and the discipline for that was clearly uncalled for. But again, Cam, as we discussed many times on this show, in some places, I mean, it's just, that is, a level of expectation. For the rest of the world, it's unrealistic, but in, SEC country, maybe he should have known that they were in a cover or two, and, he was supposed to pick off the tight end and rotate over, but at 9 years old. But the rest of the world,
at 9 years old,
the rest of the world doesn't quite see it that way. So when he looks at the film, apparently that's what they do for games with 9-year-olds down there. Maybe he'll see a little bit differently, and I'm sure that in his heart of hearts, he doesn't even think he did anything wrong. And so that's kind of the unfortunate part of all this, is that it's just culture. It's just different.
Yeah, well, the one who needs to be looking at the film is the coach and see how atrocious the environment is that he's working on. I had a chance to ask Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, early in the year, about at a girls' soccer event, about kind of molding young kids to be stars and athletes. And he said, he referenced this, something like this exactly, saying a lot of youth coaches think it's yelling at the kids and, making them run and screaming, intimidating them to do what they want, but it's only simple reputations. And once a kid gets the reputations at doing whatever it is, shooting jumpers, hitting a baseball, hitting a golf ball, once they get the repetitions, the correct amount of repetitions, when it gets into game time, it'll be kind of second nature to them. And you don't have to yell or scream at them because they put in the work. So you got to be patient with the kids. That's exactly what Kobe Bryant told me. And as soon as I saw that, I was thinking this guy needs to see this clip, because that's exactly what Kobe Bryant was referencing. So, again, the clairvoyant Kobe Bryant, still gone but not forgotten, and still able to give messages to society and to the world about different things. And I just thought that was a great poignant point. Fans, if you want to see the interview I had with Kobe, please check out Voice of the Fans YouTube page and just type in Kobe Bryant, Voice of the Fans, and it should come up for you. Cleveland, Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League. You was eliminated 2 weeks ago. I was eliminated this week. Congratulations to the guys. Do you have any favorite who's going to win this league?
No, I don't pay any attention once I'm no longer a participant in the playoffs. So, yeah, I just kind of, start the preparation for the next season, Cam. That's just how it works.
Preparation for the next season, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're already reading.
Which starts by analysis of this season and who did well and why, and who was a disappointment.
Oh, I thought you were working.
So I'm coming on. I'm gonna come up with that list. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you got any questions, I'm here to help you out, man. Because we know.
Clearly, I don't need your help because you're not a factor whatsoever. So.
Oh, did I make the playoffs or did you make the playoffs? Which one? Which one?
Oh no, you made the playoffs. That was 20 minutes ago. How long you lasting there? A couple hours. Good job.
Yeah, a week longer than you did, my friend.
A week? Yeah, okay. You realize in 7 days, homie. Yeah. Bet I do better than you next year. Bet that.
Yeah, well, you don't want to.
I'm sorry. I no longer wager with you. I forgot. Right. Until we square some things up, but yeah. Conceptually. In theory, bet that.
This guy, oh my goodness, this guy he's a relentless guy. I don't know how we might have to take a couple of weeks off because this guy is as basketball season approaches, he's just getting more and more unbearable. Cleveland, we're going to leave it here with a quote from the late great Kobe Bryant. I realize that intimidation didn't really exist if you're in the right frame of mind. Once again, this is a quote from the late, great Kobe Bryant. I realize that intimidation didn't really exist if you're in the right frame of mind. Meaning, Cleveland, all these smack talk you talk, it falls short because I'm over here preparing to win every week. So it falls short. You need to get your game up in your pick segment. Your picks against the spread.
Okay.
Get your game
up. Okay.
And
since you tried to go out under a limb and be all sticking your chest out, backed up by the Kobe Bryant quote, fans, I'll give Cam $1,000 if the Clippers win a championship.
Oh, listen to it. Listen, fans.
If Cam gives me $1,000, if the Clippers don't win a championship, okay, good talk.
Well, hold on. Now who's standing up? You got to stand up for what you're saying and what you believe in. Don't try to challenge me to stand up with you.
No. I'm saying I am standing up for what I believe in. I believe the Clippers don't win the NBA championship. I give you $1,000 if they do.
Well,
think on it. I mean, I know that's a lot to digest all at one time. But I mean, you try to throw the Kobe quote at me. I'm just saying, stand up for what you believe in. I'm just saying, Clipper Nation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Clipper Nation. You're one of the vice presidents of that, right?
Not exactly, sir. Not exactly.
Oh, not right now. Ooh, you haven't renewed. Renewal of memberships due on the 18th. Cam hasn't got his application in just yet. Woo-hoo.
Fans, I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to stand this guy the rest of the year. This guy, QB Zirconius will be passed out next week, and he's just beside himself right now.
And Kawhi and PG-13 gonna be out there too, fans. So you know.
Oh my goodness.
Revenge of the Sith, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna leave it right there. Cleveland, appreciate your participation each and every week. Fans, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. As always, want to thank you guys. I want you guys to enjoy the holidays. Actually, we'll talk to you one more week. We got one more week before the big Christmas holiday, but I want you guys to enjoy the holiday. Stay safe. Follow your governor rules, and so we can see you guys next year in a couple of weeks. But stay safe. Cleveland, hope the best for you and your family as well. Fans, thank you as always for making our voice your choice.
Hey man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.